Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Dartigan Jones and this is Titanfall Nexus. Coming up in the show, we discuss all the new details from the recently concluded alpha test, as well as go over some of the most common opinions people have formed based on that test. Now before I begin, I feel it necessary to explain why I'm not showing you any new footage from the alpha. All of that footage from the alpha is under a non-disclosure agreement. Anyone who has posted video from that test on YouTube has had their video taken down almost immediately by EA. Since I'd rather not start racking up copyright strikes on my channel, I won't be displaying any video or screenshots here. If you wish to see video from the alpha tests, it's pretty easy to find it on Dailymotion. What I can do is talk about the alpha. I was not part of the test, so I signed no NDA. First thing I want to touch on is that 6 on 6 no longer seems to be such a contentious issue for people. In fact, from watching the videos, you wouldn't even be able to tell, or at least I couldn't. There is just so much happening on screen at any moment that I couldn't find a single slow moment where you could hear the crickets chirping, and respawn times seem to be almost instant, though that could just be for the purposes of the test. Most people seem to have warmed up on 6 on 6 now that they can see it in action, and see that it wasn't such a big deal. One thing that I'm surprised I haven't seen brought up more is that the game is running at 720p according to some pixel counters on NeoGAF. While this is just an alpha test and we still don't know if the actual final game will run at 720p, I think this is a pretty clear indication that it will. I'm not quite sure how some people will feel about that, but to me it's not exactly a big deal anymore. Granted, I would prefer 1080p, but 720p on a 40-inch TV like mine, I'll live. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about 720p pretty much being confirmed for the final game. Of the two most common complaints people have levied at Titanfall from the alpha, AI was one of them. Most people felt the AI wasn't very impressive or even challenging. I think people might have some misconception about the role of the AI in this game. They're not meant to take the place of human players or even be as challenging as human players as they are in games like Unreal Tournament. Wow, that's a game I haven't mentioned in a long time. The AI exists essentially for you to farm them so you can call in your Titan quicker. They also fill out the map, increasing the scale of the battle and giving you something to shoot at if there's no human players nearby. Don't go counting on AI to save your neck or help you push an objective. It just isn't going to happen. I've compared Titanfall to MOBAs before, and the AI in Titanfall are minion creeps no matter how you look at them. They fit every characteristic, spawning from one central location, being weak cannon fodder, and earning you spendable points by killing them. Now the other big complaint was that the game looked a lot like Call of Duty. And to be fair, I feel that's a fair criticism. Anyone with Call of Duty fatigue probably was none too impressed by the leaked footage. In just about every video you can see people doing very Call of Duty-ish things, such as blindly throwing grenades, chasing people down for assassinations rather than just shooting them in the back, people hiding in blind spots and shooting the moment someone comes around the corner, though thankfully that was nowhere near as effective as in Call of Duty. And then you have things like your kill cam, which I'm going to mention a bit more later, and you have loadouts and perks for both you and your Titan. All of these things you will of course find in a Call of Duty video. But here's the thing, people who play the game have been repeatedly saying, yeah, the game kind of looks like Call of Duty, but it doesn't feel like it. One thing you have to keep in mind is that the reason it looks a lot like Call of Duty at the moment is because people are trying to play it like Call of Duty. Let me explain. A lot of these people have been playing Call of Duty for years, and they bring those skills with them into this game. All of those things that I mentioned earlier that were very Call of Duty-ish, none of them seem nearly as effective as they are in Call of Duty. Once the game is released, I think you'll see people start to figure out the game mechanics, and a lot of these Call of Duty comparisons will start to disappear. Another thing people have been asking me a lot about, and I've also seen in a lot of comments, is sniping. Sniping is in the game. The sniper rifle seen in the videos has 8 shots, and you can fire these 8 shots as fast as you can pull the trigger. I imagine this is to make up for how mobile the other players are. If you fired slow and missed, they would likely be out of sight by the time you chambered a new round. One thing I was very happy to see is just how long the average lifespan is in Titanfall. Seeing people live long enough to run out of ammo for their primary weapon is not something you see often in Call of Duty style games. Even the bad players lasted long enough to get a few kills and spawn a Titan before dying. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of being killed right after you spawn. Perhaps this is due to the smaller player count or just how maneuverable everyone is, but man, is that something I'm thankful for. Getting killed before you can do anything just sucks the fun out of any game and pushes away new players before they can even get a hang of things. In most shooters, the formula is spawn, kill, die, respawn. Titanfall's formula: spawn, kill, 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 Titan, kill, die, respawn. Bad players will love the game for the fact that they get to kill way more stuff than they normally would, and great players will love all the crazy freestyle running and jumping they can do to show off and make highlight reels. Hint, hint. I want to touch on the kill cam very briefly. We now know that Titanfall does have the ability to record gameplay. The kill cam is proof of that. What I'm hoping this means is that we can record entire matches. It shouldn't be too difficult from a design standpoint to extend that brief kill cam recording to the entire match. Being able to share and record games is an awesome feature and features heavily into my content plans for this channel. So this is me kind of hoping for a feature for my own selfish reasons. But I'm sure that's a feature everyone else wants as well. Make sure to email Respawn and demand a replay feature. Finally, for those of you upset that you didn't get to take part in this alpha, it is still a possibility that a public beta might happen next month. When asked over Twitter, Abby Heppy, the community manager of Respawn, stated that a public beta was a possibility, and if a beta doesn't happen, it's only a month and a half from the release. I think we can all manage. That's all for today. Be sure to like and comment. Also consider checking out the official Titanfall Wiki on Gamepedia.com for more information. This has been Dartigan, and I'll see you next time, pilots.